Hi, folks. I'm your new Bill Burr. Yeah, I know I got a turkey on my head, but just think about it this way. I'm not your typical Boston to Hollywood big shot can afford a bald head anytime he wants, okay? So I got a turkey for now. But give me time. I'll get a bald cap someday. Anyway, I'm Bill Burr, the guy who reads you the news. Well, you probably expected to hear the news from Cara Dune when you turn into this channel. Cara Dune didn't make the news today. And what do you know? I didn't make the news either. I guess my cycle's over. But I was making the news for a minute there, throwing myself under the bus with Cara Dune as fast as I could. But I guess the bus already passed on. Anyway, that was the old Bill Burr anyway. Don't worry about that joker. But you need somebody to tell you what everybody's thinking. And what everybody's thinking's in the news. So, since you need the new Bill Burr to tell you what everybody's thinking, since that's what the old Bill Burr used to do, except it was always some racist junk, the new Bill Burr will tell you what everybody's thinking in the news, just reading you my Google News reports. Again, like Cara Dune, new Cara Dune used to do that. Now I'm going to do it because, if I threw away my career, throwing myself under the bus with Cara Dune, then I should get some of this video time too, don't you think? So anyway, here's your top stories. Number one, it's the 4th of March, 2021. So number one, the Fed's on high alert. This story is just from 4 or 5 hours ago. The Feds are on high alert in case the Trump has attacked the Capitol again. So that's the number one story. But the number two story, that's Star Wars. And when you think Star Wars, you think Bill Burr. Because Bill Burr is an essential, integral part of Star Wars. You can't have Star Wars without Bill Burr and his character. So when you make a new Star Wars and you have Bill Burr, you know who to call. Bill Burr. But Daisy Ridley is also in Star Wars, so that's what makes it Star Wars news. Story number two, Daisy Ridley is praised for her Ted Cruz clapback, which was a good move on her part. Kind of makes me feel bad that I chose the other side, and that my clapback got me slapped back and got me no good claps, but sent back to Boston, I guess. Number three story, the Trump election fraud investigation in Georgia. So, Trump's going down south, going down where he deserves. Fourth story, Queen Nefertiti and King Akhenaten photo. There's a good-looking couple there. We've seen Nefertiti, we've seen some carvings of them before, but now we finally got a photo thanks to an artist. And it's really good. They're a good-looking pair, good-looking couple there. But fourth story, I guess that's breaking news because we hadn't had those photos before. But then you got the fifth story. The House approves a police reform bill named after George Floyd. So they're going to stop cops from chokeholding people or put a law that stops cops from chokeholding. The problem is the cops don't follow the laws. So what difference it's like it's that the whole reasoning they always have about guns is if you outlaw guns, only outlaws are gonna have guns. But if you outlaw chokeholds, but cops don't follow the laws, who cares? So he's got to do something about holding the cops accountable. I didn't click the article. Maybe there's some of that in there farther down. But the new George Floyd bill. Then number 6 story, Target is tracking you and charging you based on your location. So like, if you're paying more for something somewhere, Target's going to tell you, what is that? What is that? How do they do that? But, that's the modern world for you. That's the internet for you. So Tony Stark, speaking of the internet, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. and Bill Gates, they making an electric motor company. So apparently we're going to have electric cars. Who knew? But here they come, electric cars. The 8th story, Chinese a website that pirated TV shows became a cultural touchstone for millennials, and it's called Ren something. I'm not a millennial, so I don't know. I didn't click it. Number 9, a tree of heaven is hellish invasive species. Could a fungus save the day? Probably. I know a fungus can save the day. Anyway, so Tree of Heaven. How ironic. 10. WandaVision and Mando. Some more irony. Cause hey, I was on the Mando. But the WandaVision show too. Disney Magic Spell. I don't know about WandaVision. I've seen those shows. Those shows are really good. WandaVision, not so much. But don't tell them I said that. I work for Disney, or I did. Number 12, an Animal Crossing player discovers you can control the football fish. Amazing! Always more things in Animal Crossing. Number 13, fecal matter in the Denver River as the city fights the state health agency. Well, that seems to be the wrong move. You got poo in your water. Don't do that. We did that in Boston. It didn't work out so well. 14, some people live in airports for years. Number 15, the best 25 sci-fi books. Number 16, U.S. bishops say stay away from the Johnson & Johnson vaccine because they're crazy Nazi Trumpers. So maybe don't listen to them. Number 70, Daisy Ridley again. She loved meeting the Matilda actress. Come on. Really? Supporting a Nazi troll gets you thrown off of the newsreel and thrown off of the show? And being a good person gets you news stories? What is this? I thought this was the internet. Crisis of declining birth rate. CEO of Texas Power Grid fired. 4 Colorado restaurants make the Yelp top places. CBS All Access is over. Who knew? Who cares? A Milwaukee broadcaster joined CBS 58. A family left Chicago for beach life. Milwaukee Bucks have a hand sanitizer can. Jeanette McCurdy resents a career. I'm starting to resent my career of being a Nazi sympathizer. That's what I was. The old Bill Burr. The new Bill Burr is good. You can feel good about listening to the new Bill Burr. Snow in the forecast. Classic books bucket list. Like reading a book is on your bucket list. No, I'm kidding. That's fine. You can do that. The Lambo of chariots found at Pompeii. A microcomb. Exercise stimulates your brain. Stimulus check differences. Hey, you know what the difference will be? When you get a stimulus check, they'll stop having news about it. A SpaceX Starship nails the landing, then explodes. Doesn't really sound like a success story. Back to the drawing board, Elon Musk. 34. Oh, who knows? Retailers aren't going to go with the masklessness in Texas and Mississippi because they don't want to kill anybody. Imagine that. The Creighton coach offered to resign after saying offensive comments. Did they accept the resignation or do they want the offensive coach still coaching? The Indian massacre of 1622. Top story.